end to Major General Anthony Anderson's journey there as ambassador as he returns home very soon, if not today, then certainly over the next couple of days, because he commences his job as Chief Executive Officer of NARA come the 1st June, which is Sunday. So his returning from Washington means another ambassador will be appointed by the Governor General on the advice of the Prime Minister. Nothing strange about that. Happens all the time. People get moved, people get recalled, and you appoint. Sometimes the position is even vacant for a little while. Let me just take a break and come back.
It's now 9:15.
So the Observer quotes the president of the private sector organization of Jamaica, Patrick Hilton, saying he is elated to see the prominent Jamaican make that public servant rise to the role of Chief Executive Officer of NARA. In a quote attributed to Mr. Hilton, from my personal knowledge of him as well as his track record, he's a consummate professional, very experienced, very knowledgeable, with a good sense of judgment and great personal and professional integrity. He added that because of Anderson's many professional endeavors and years of dedication to public service, he is well suited to handle the task ahead. Again, in a quote, in addition, he understands the local environment well, has good connections, and the respect of a lot of people. These are attributes which should help him to be effective in the role. Similar response from Catherine Silvera, President of Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association. In a quote attributed to her, the JMEA has great respect for Major Anderson's record of service and believe this is a very good appointment. The challenges so far with relief fund management and the need for NARA demand disciplined, principled leadership. His track record of integrity and results, they have gives, I think that should be give confidence that he will act with transparency, resist undue influence, and ensure accountability in this critical role. And I certainly agree with those sentiments. I was not aware that the Prime Minister asked Major General Anthony Anderson post-Hurricane Beryl to do an assessment of the state of the country, the state of ODPEM. I must have known because I think something came out when ODPEM was moved to the office of the Prime Minister. But sometimes you think you know something and you forget, and then when you hear it, it doesn't sound so strange. So when I said it a moment ago, it didn't sound so strange to me after all. But I think anybody who has had the chance previous to now of doing some sort of analysis of the landscape and the capacity of the country to handle rebuilding and restructuring after a hurricane, that individual begins ahead of many other people, on top of all of the other attributes of Anthony Anderson. That, I think, is very important, certainly to me from what I see. The appointment of an ambassador, there are so many people who are distinguished public servants who can be appointed. Nothing, well, I won't say nothing because that is a price position. A lot turns on it. But to my mind, with the state of the country now, with the need for the resilience build with some speed and some knowledge of the local environment, that he comes with those skill sets that put him way ahead of many or any other. Yeah? So I think it's a really good choice. I'm not bothered that he has headed all of these entities. For whatever reason in life you get called. Yeah? People shouldn't be questioning why we are recycling whatever. Because experience, the experience he comes with is supposed to enable him to act in a particular way. And we're here to judge eventually how he actually acts. Yeah? So there's no issue I take with the appointment. I understand that he was appointed by the appropriate committee, and unless there are some procedural glitches about which we may come to learn later on, I have no issue whatsoever with the appointment of Major General Anthony Anderson and his therefore inevitable recall and the appointment of somebody else to go to Washington. What is the purpose of Parliament? What is the role of a member of Parliament? If not to, one, your chief role is as a lawmaker. So when you turn up in Parliament, you're supposed to be vetting the bills that come on the floor, make your contribution in a sensible way, and try to make sure that the law that you are attempting to pass, that it is in conformity with the Constitution, and some of the things that are in it will redound to the benefit of the people you're representing. But on top of that, a parliamentarian, a councillor, should know every nook and cranny of his constituency. They walk those roads. They walk the Jackass Pass. And they go and find the vote during an election time. In fact, they do keep lists of individuals. So when government announces particular programs, it is not right that some of you 63 sit down in Parliament. You don't want to tell the people who are eligible by virtue of being excluded from a lot of things. And then you turn around in the Parliament and you criticize when the take-up of a particular program is minuscule. Listen, there are two headlines in the paper this morning, and I'm telling you, if I don't listen to this Parliament and see what goes on for myself, I walk away with a completely different impression as to what is going on in this country than what is represented to me by mainstream media. And imagine how many people may be getting this sort of impression. The headline this morning in the Gleaner says government pockets 70% of 1 billion allocated to poor under Solidarity program. Government pockets 70%. Why on earth did we use that headline? The Observer this morning says more money unspent. Only 23% of 1 billion Solidarity program spent nearly a year after launch. What we need to understand, you see, one of the reasons we go through this process of budgeting yearly, if money is set to be spent in one fiscal year, which begins on the 1st of April every year and ends the 31st of March the next year, if it is budgeted to be spent and it is not spent for a myriad of reasons, it has to go back into the Consolidated Fund, the unspent portion. And we have to recast it for the next cycle again. So in this particular case, I am so happy to live to see the day when government, which is really us, when we are able to give money to our people, we are now able to hand out $20,000 to different groups depending on what is going on. We are now able to fund roofs program. We're now able to fund whatever it is because we have made the turn for the country based on the management of the economy. If the government put out a program June of 2025 meant for people who have been almost completely forgotten, the vulnerable, the indigent, people who are not on path, people who are not in school, people who never get nothing. $1 billion was allocated for this solidarity program. The 63 MPs in Parliament knew about the program. They must know thousands of people all across Jamaica who've been left out because they go to Parliament every week to give example of some of these individuals. It so happens that the Ministry of Labour and Social Security had applications from thousands of individuals, some of whom didn't qualify because they'd benefited under other programs. And we know in this country that if you have a program for a particular purpose and you include people who don't fall under what you intend the program to be, you are more than likely going to have a report that comes out and says people who didn't qualify benefited. And then it becomes another headline that politically aligned people, the program was extended to them. In this case, based on the number of people who applied, who were vetted and who qualified, and who the government is paying out the money to, it so happens that that comes to under 30% of the $1 billion that was allocated. But remember that that is not the only money that is being allocated or will be allocated. But yet still, when the disclosure is made in Parliament, the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, you have MPs sitting in there saying they have a problem with the take-up being the rate that it was. What on earth did you do to tell people to go and apply for this program? Your responsibility must extend farther than you actually have it at the moment. So the money being unused because the applicants, some of them didn't qualify, the money goes back into the fund, inevitably to benefit all of us, because every single time we pay down on the debt, it means that we lower the debt, more money becomes available for us in a next cycle. I'm out of time.
Join us next time for Emily's Views on the Hotline.
The time is 9:30.
Have you heard? Radio Jamaica 94 FM's Month-End Farmers Market is back Thursday, May 28th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 32 Linda